So in part 1 and 2 of the barn renovation, we prepared the barn for the concrete slab, and today is the day that we were planning to pour the concrete slab. But I had to outsource this task to a local company, which is doing a real good job. So my apologies for a little bit of a commercial for this company, because they are really doing a really great job. Hello folks, and welcome to the channel, or welcome back. And as you can see, the floor is now prepared to pour the concrete slab. We got a plastic foil on the bottom, we got a large metal grit, and now we can actually pour the concrete. On the sides you will notice that there is an expansion foam, so the concrete can extend and shrink. However, it's now -4 degrees centigrade outside, so we can't pour the concrete. That has to wait a couple more days until the frost is gone. But stay tuned, because in this video I'm going to show you on how all this preparation work was done. And by now it's 7 o'clock in the morning and it's freezing cold. It's around -4 degrees centigrade. And the guys arrived with about 5 people on site, starting to prepare the floor. And the first thing they've done, of course, is to install a plastic foil on the concrete floor and level out some more areas that I didn't know. Everything has been adjusted by laser, so the height of the concrete and the height of the slab will be determined properly by laser beams. It is important to place a plastic foil onto the ground so the concrete doesn't dry too fast. So they're putting these foils all over the place and they tape them together where they need to tape them together. I couldn't do this on my own, and that time these guys did it because they were so fast and so quick. The total preparation took only about 2 hours. And here we have kind of a foam. This is the foam that they put along the edges and they nail it onto the wall, so the concrete can extend a bit, and it also protects the wall from the concrete itself while they are pouring. So this is kind of an extension gap. Even afterwards, that gap will be there. Once that was done, then it was time to put spacers onto the plastic. And these spacers are, in essence, concrete blocks that are placed at certain distances. And you can see these guys are really used to it, while the other guy is still continuing with this foam. And these spacers are needed to place the nets on. So the steel nets will go on there, because the floor will be a enforced floor. You might remember that I mentioned initially it's about 10 centimeters. Well, in this case it's going to be quite a bit more. In some areas it will be 20, in other areas it will be about 14. So while the guys are putting the bricks up, the other guy is preparing the front part where the slab has to stop. And here we have the steel nets, and it's a whole pile of them on the trailer. And now one by one they're going to place them onto those concrete blocks. So we'll have concrete underneath the net and we'll have concrete on top of the net. The blocks are about 5 centimeters high, so in essence the net is more or less in the middle of the concrete. As I have specific corners here and there, they will need to cut the grid so it can go around the pillars and the cornerstones. And here they're preparing some more cutouts, and you know, it's good to reuse a net which was a bit damaged. But it doesn't matter because it had to be cut out anyway. And now that part, as they've just been cutting it, is going in and needs some final adjustments just to make sure that the corner is right. And then shake it a bit and place it in place. So meanwhile, the other guy is still working on the doorway, because that's where the concrete has to stop. And this is great teamwork because everybody is doing his job. They all know exactly what to do. And they did all this work in a couple of hours. And here they are actually wiring these nets together so they don't get loose. Unfortunately, they ran out of the reel or a roll of wire, so they put a new roll up, and here they are hooking everything up. So this is done throughout the whole surface, so when the concrete is poured, these nets don't flip up. Meanwhile, the entrance is almost done, and you'll see it at the end where there is this aluminum boarding where the slab will actually stop. And here a little bit of a view on all the metal grit or the hardening that's inside the barn. It's quite a bit, and in some places it's even thicker. So right here on the floor we have the plastic foil. We've got concrete blocks that are lifting up the metal grit to about 5 centimeters. So you have 5 centimeters of concrete underneath and about 5 above. But in fact, the concrete that's going to be poured here will be between 10 and 14, 15 centimeters. And on the sides we have this insulation or this expansion foam. So whenever the concrete goes against the wall, it will be able to expand and shrink. And otherwise, if you don't have this, you're going to crack the concrete or even the walls for that matter. And here we have the aluminum edge held in place with some pieces of wood, but also some fast drying cement. So it's not what you think, what you see there. This is really fast drying cement to hold that in place. And this is a look from the outside. So I hope you enjoyed it and keep watching for my next video. Bye bye.